everybody, and welcome to week 4 of the Fab Five. During the Fab Five series, we talk about 5 fabulous prophets of the Old Testament. What is a prophet? A prophet is somebody who would talk to God, and God would show them the things that are going to happen in the future so that they could go and tell the people around them about it. Right? Right. Today, we're going to talk about a prophet named Jeremiah. God sent Jeremiah to talk to the 2 southern tribes, the nation of Judah. But like a lot of the other prophets, Jeremiah didn't have a whole lot of luck helping them turn back to God. Let's take a look. Jeremiah and the fall of Judah. All around the borders of Israel and Judah, powerful nations are rising up and looking for new lands to conquer. The nation of Israel has already been conquered by their enemy, and now the evil Babylonians are looking to conquer God's people in the nation of Judah. There's only one thing stopping them. The king of Judah has agreed to remain loyal to evil Babylon and pay them money in exchange for peace. But the king of Judah is getting tired of paying, and now he's talking with other nations about going to war with the powerful Babylonians. God had other plans, though. He sent a prophet named Jeremiah to confront the king of Judah. When Jeremiah shows up, he's wearing a large yoke on his neck. A yoke is a wooden beam that farmers put on the necks of their oxen to control the powerful animals. Jeremiah tells the king, God has given you over to Babylon because of your wickedness. Babylon has put its yoke of power on your neck, and now they control you like a wild beast. If you accept the yoke and serve Babylon, you will live. If you don't serve Babylon, you will die. Any prophet who tells you differently is a liar. There's another prophet in the room. A false prophet named Hananiah. He grabs the yoke from Jeremiah's neck and smashes it on the ground. Hananiah shouts, "No, this is what the Lord says. I will break the yoke of Babylon and you will be free of their control." But God didn't really say that, and he's not too happy with Hananiah. So he gives Jeremiah one more prophecy to share with this audience. The Babylonian yoke is made of iron and is not so easily broken. I have given them control over the wild animals, and I will give them control over you too. And as for you, Hananiah, because of your lies, you will die this very year. Unfortunately, Jeremiah is alone in his warning, and no one will listen to him. Even when Hananiah dies 2 months later, the king of Judah doesn't want to believe Jeremiah's prophecy. So he continues to conspire with Egypt to wage war with the Babylonians. When the enemy king of Babylon hears about this conspiracy, he's quick to attack Jerusalem, just like Jeremiah had prophesied. One thing that keeps the Babylonian army away from a swift victory are giant walls surrounding Jerusalem. While the walls hold the Babylonian army at bay, the soldiers of Judah search for Jeremiah. Even though it's the sin of the people that has caused this calamity, the people of Judah call Jeremiah a traitor and blame him for all of the bad things that are happening. When the soldiers find Jeremiah, they grab him, throw him into a dried up well, and leave him there to starve. Alone and in the dark, Jeremiah sits hungry in the gooey, stinky mud, wondering if he'll live to see the light again. But God hasn't forgotten about Jeremiah. He moves the king of Judah to show him mercy. The king has Jeremiah taken out of the well and placed under house arrest, where he remains guarded until one day, after 2.5 years of fighting, the Great Wall of Jerusalem comes crashing down, and the Babylonian soldiers rush in. The fighting men of Judah are no match for the fierce Babylonian army. Soon, as the city is set on fire and the remaining wall is broken down, the enemy soldiers steal all of the gold, silver, and valuables from the temple and palace buildings. Worst of all, the people of Judah are even made prisoners and forced to leave their home. Everyone but the poorest people are taken to Babylon, where they become servants to the powerful enemy nation. But God does not allow harm to come to Jeremiah. Jeremiah's reputation has reached all the way to the king of Babylon. The enemy king has heard about his faithfulness to God and about his efforts to keep Judah from rebelling. So the king gives orders that Jeremiah be kept safe. Jeremiah is invited by the powerful king to live with wealth and honor in Babylon. But instead, Jeremiah chooses to stay in Jerusalem to help the few poor people who still remain. Although his life has been spared, Jeremiah finds little happiness in it. He weeps for the destruction of his beloved nation and its people. He cries out to God, "This city, once so full of people, is now deserted. Because of Judah's great sin, her enemy is now her master. This is why I weep, and my eyes overflow with tears." Wow, that's a huge bummer. Jeremiah tried to warn the nation of Judah for 40 years without any success. It was like talking to a wall. Can you imagine how frustrating that must have been? Actually, it was more than just frustrating. It was really sad. But when Jeremiah was sad, God was right there with him. He kept Jeremiah from being crushed by the sadness and gave Jeremiah a hope that the sadness would one day pass. And you know what? God does the same thing for us. It's okay to feel sad. Just know that you are not alone and that God will keep you from being crushed by your sadness. Know that you can pray to God and ask Him to help you find your joy. And best of all, know that for those who follow Jesus, God has promised that one day we will live with Him forever in heaven, where there are no more tears and no more sadness. And that is all that we have for today. I'm so glad that you were able to join us this week, and I'm so excited to see you next week. Okay, bye!